Hello and welcome. I'm going to read some English language Vietnamese articles so you can practice your English pronunciation and understanding. Please read along with me, and I have linked to all the articles below, so please give them a click so you give them some credit because they put effort into it too. So you should, click on the actual article. And all of these are on Vietnam Express, and they're all about instant noodles because it was on my mind. So I thought I'd do something on that today. Okay. The first one is about Denmark recalling some Korean noodles because they're too spicy. So let's start here. Denmark recalls South Korean noodles for being too spicy. Denmark's food agency has recalled South Korean instant ramen produced by a brand popular in the West, warning noodle lovers that they were so hot they might cause acute poisoning. 3 Samyang Foods noodle products were assessed to have dangerous levels of capsaicin, the active component of chili peppers. The Danish Veterinary and Food Administration said in a statement on Tuesday, the 3 products from Samyang instant ramen line, Bulldog 3X Spicy and Hot Chicken, 2X Spicy and Hot Chicken, and Hot Chicken Stew, were being withdrawn from sale in Denmark. The level in a single packet of the noodles was so high that they pose a risk of the consumer developing acute poisoning, the Danish body said. If you have the products, you should discard them or return them to the store where they were purchased, the statement added. It has issued a special warning against children eating the noodles, urging parents to contact the poison line if their little ones appear to show acute symptoms. Samyang products are hugely popular overseas, with the company's operating profit hitting a record high of over 110 million in 2023. Samyang Foods said it was the first time the company's products had been recalled because they were deemed too hot, and added that it would work to better understand local regulations in export markets. Currently, the products are being exported around the world, but this is the first time they have been recalled for this reason, a spokesperson for the company told AFP. Samyang Foods saw its stock price soar 70% in recent months after the Bulldog Carbonara ramen went viral on TikTok. With the product becoming so popular in the United States, there have been reports of shortages. Celebrities such as Cardi B have posted stories online about searching for over 30 minutes to find the flavorful instant noodles. This is hilarious to me. White people really cannot eat spicy food. I actually eat very spicy food, typically spicier than Vietnamese people do. And these noodles are actually my favorite instant noodles. That said, I do not eat much instant noodles, unlike Vietnamese people, apparently, according to this next article. Let's see here. Vietnamese consume over 1,000 tons of instant noodles daily. Over 1,127 tons of instant noodles were consumed a day in Vietnam last year, surging more than 20% compared to 2016, according to the UK-based market research firm Euromonitor. In 2021, Vietnam consumed about 411,500 tons of instant noodles, up 9% against 2020. Total instant noodles sales in the country surpassed 3.8 trillion Vietnamese dong, over $153.2 million in 2021, increasing more than 11% against 2020 and nearly 18% against 2016. The research for Euromonitor's annually published Global Instant Noodle Consumption Report is carried out in 80 countries. Previously, data from the World Instant Noodle Association, WINA, also showed that Vietnam surpassed South Korea as the world's highest per capita consumer of instant noodles. On average, every Vietnamese uses 87 packets a year. Euromonitor pointed out that Ace Cook from Japan and Masan from Vietnam are the Vietnamese instant noodle market's two leading firms, holding a combined market share of 33%. Japanese instant noodle market share in Vietnam decreased from nearly 24% in 2017 to over 19% in 2021, while that of Vietnamese enterprises rose from roughly 12% to nearly 14%. Regarding individual noodle brands, Ace Cook's Hao Hao has remained the most popular in Vietnam for years. Yes, need to get that shrimp noodle, right? However, its market share continues to shrink and stood at around 7.7% last year. Ace Cook has been instant noodles' top earner in Vietnam for years. It first hit the revenue threshold of 10 trillion Vietnamese dong in 2019, and its revenues increased by 15% 2 years later, surpassing 12.2 trillion Vietnamese dong in 2021. However, its growth has slowed compared to the rate of 20% in the 2017 to 2019 period, mainly due to stronger competition from Masan, Vietnamese firm Asia Foods, and other instant noodle makers. Masan's 2021 annual report said it represented 5 brands with revenues of over 2 trillion Vietnamese dong each, of which 2 are instant noodles. Asia Foods made total revenues of 5 trillion Vietnamese dong a year in 2017 to 2021 period. Uniben gained revenues of more than 3.4 trillion Vietnamese dong in 2021, up over 12% against 2020. Euromonitor's report shows that total instant noodle production continues to increase each year, but the proportion of instant noodles consumed versus other foods such as rice, fresh noodles, and vermicelli is decreasing. It dropped to more than 26% last year from more than 1/3. Vietnamese people are eating more rice. Rice, which used to account for nearly 2/3 of the total output, surged to 72% last year. So, like I said, I do not eat instant noodles often, but I actually ate instant pho last night. I started feeling sick, and the hot broth feels good on my throat. More often, I just take the noodles and stir fry it with like a saute oil and vegetables, and sometimes add like tofu or chicken, something like that to it for protein. I think this is much healthier. I know Vietnamese office workers eat these a lot because they do not want to go out to eat on their lunch break, or they just don't have time, But I wish they could at least add some vegetables to the meal or something like that to make it a little more healthy. So, yeah. And this next article is about a banned substance being found in some Vietnamese instant noodles, though I think this one was a couple years ago, so, but still interesting. EU warns Vietnamese instant noodle products contain banned substance. Germany has passed warnings about certain imported Vietnamese instant noodle products that contain heightened levels of ethylene oxide, a banned substance. The Vietnam Sanitary and Phytosanitary Notification Authority and Inquiry Point, SPS, under the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, said it had received warnings from the EU regarding certain instant noodle products exported by Vietnamese businesses. Germany issued warnings about a chicken-flavored instant noodle product by Asian Foods Corporation for containing ethylene oxide levels higher than EU standards. Malta, meanwhile, issued a warning for a pho product by Nguyen Nha because it uses genetically modified rice. A representative of the Department of Science and Technology under the Ministry of Industry and Trade said the department is still verifying the food batch that drew warnings in Germany. The batch might have been exported since last year, when batches had yet to be imposed an ethylene oxide limit standard upon export, the representative said. Since February 17, the EU has demanded certificate requirements for instant noodle batches imported into the region. These batches would be checked for their ethylene oxide level after export, and so forth. No batch has been returned. Germany said the ethylene oxide level in the instant noodle products had 2 to 3 times the maximum standard allowed, according to the representative. The current ethylene oxide limit, as required by the EU, is 0.01 milligrams per kilogram. In future, the department would take instant noodle product samples from the Vietnamese market to evaluate the presence of ethylene oxide and create a limit standard for substance. Last August, several batches of instant noodle products by Vietnamese businesses were also recalled by the EU for heightened levels of ethylene oxide. Ethylene oxide is an organic compound with various applications, including disinfection and sterilization. I think that's just another reason to avoid instant noodles and processed foods in general. Really, unless you make the food yourself, you really don't know what is in it. I really try not to eat processed foods too much, but honestly, I do not have a healthy diet either, so I think I lack a lot of vitamins because I don't eat enough food in general. And yeah, all right, so how about you tell me, how many instant noodles do you eat? And what's your favorite one? What's your favorite flavor? If you have any questions about these articles that read today, go ahead and leave a comment asking, and I'll try to answer it. And if you have any other articles you'd like me to read, please link that to me too. I like to read articles that are, current, unlike some of the ones I read today, I guess. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll try to post again soon.